up out of the city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Most High of hosts in Shiloh. Jump to verse 9.
1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 9. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by a post of the temple of the Most High.
So you see, we still had women there also.
Right.
But it was required for men to be there, but we had women. I'm showing you that we had women there also. Look at Luke 2 and 41. But he's speaking directly to the men that they have to be here.
Right.
I'm just showing you that our women were involved in these holy convocations also, besides the men. But he required the men 3 times to appear before him. You see? Read this.
Luke chapter 2, verse 41. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover.
So parents is who?
Joseph and Mary.
Right.
John.
So parents means
Mother
2
and
people.
father.
Mother and father, right. Now you know the women went also. But it required the men, it's a qualification of the men, because some women can't come.
Right.
You know what I mean? It depends on that time of the mother, some couldn't come. Some might have something else going on, whatever, but you see what I'm saying? But
right.
Men, we are responsible for being under the law as the Most High called men to come to these holy convocations. He just said 3 times a year.
Right.
But I'm letting you know that women came. Read it again. Women was there too. Read.
Luke chapter 2, verse 41.
Right.
Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year.
See, his parents went to Jerusalem every year. Read.
At the feast of the Passover.
At the feast of the Passover. Read.
And when he was 12 years old.
And this is the time that Mashiach was born. When you look up that word when, it means at the time. He was 12 years old. That's when he was born, in the spring.
Right.
Not in the dead of winter. And when he was 12 years old, babe,
they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast.
After the custom of the feast. That's what they did. So what time is it?
Time.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Okay. Give me Acts the 2nd chapter. So now, well, no, before you get there, get Acts the 1st chapter. I want you to read verse 6.
Acts chapter 1, verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Hamashiach, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
So now, we're in the time where the Mashiach Yahushua died and rose on the 3rd day and ascended to the right hand side of the Most High. Get ready to ascend to the right hand side of the Most High. He hadn't yet. But he had been on the earth, walked the earth after he rose on the 3rd day for 40 days. So they asked him, hey, will you again restore the kingdom to everyone? To all nations? To everyone? What did it say? To who?
Restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Restore again the kingdom to Israel. Let's see if he said, what are you talking about? The kingdom's coming to everyone. What did he say?
And verse 7, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the time or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power.
Hear this clearly, y'all. He said, only the Most High knows when he's going to restore the kingdom to Israel. But he said, the Most High put this in his power when he's going to restore the kingdom to us, the Israelites. That's what he said.
Right.
Or else he would have said, what are you talking about? He would have corrected, he would have rebuked him and said, what are you talking about?
Right.
The kingdom coming to Israel. The kingdom coming to everybody. What do you mean by this?
Right.
He even entertained that because they already knew the kingdom going to be restored to Israel. That's why he asking them the question. Are you at this time? You back. As far as they're concerned, dang man, come on, you've been here over a month. I know you get ready to do your thing, right? Like Judah, he probably thought that he was being a zealot, that Mashiach was going to bring the kingdom then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I know because he told him he could call down 12 legions of angels to destroy all the Romans if he wanted to. But he had a purpose. His purpose was to die for the sins of the children of Israel. bring us back to the Most High.
Right.
Read that again.
Acts chapter 1, verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Mashiach, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to
He said,
Israel?
"Will restore the kingdom again to Israel?" Listen what he said.
And he said unto them,
What he said.
it is not for you to know the times or the seasons, which the Father hath put in his own
I
power.
need to hear this, so don't let anybody tell you that the end is going to come
Right.
on this day, that day.
Right.
Because he's telling you right here that the Most High have put the end times, that he's going to restore the kingdom to Israel, and we got next in his own power.
Right.
He said, hey, I don't even know. It's in the power of the Most High, the hand of the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Read. So listen what he said. Come on.
But ye shall receive power.
You shall receive what?
Power.
So this power is what? Spiritual power.
Right.
You're going to receive spiritual power when?
After that, the Holy Spirit is come upon you.
He told them they're going to receive spiritual power. You see power, that's spiritual power, after you receive the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Come upon them. Read.
And ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth.
Right. Read.
Verse 9, Acts chapter 1. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
You hear that? So, as he spoke those things, once he finished, a cloud, which is a chariot, when you read Psalms 103 and 3,
Right.
took him out of their sight. Now let's go. He told them they're going to receive power. So now, he died and rose on the third day. He walked the earth for 40 days. That's 43 days. And he told them in Sabbath day's journey,
Right. Yep.
verse 12. He told them that, read.
Acts chapter 1, verse 12. Then returned they unto Jerusalem from the mount called Olivet, which is from Jerusalem, a Sabbath day journey.
So 7 days, between the time they talked to him, he ascended. 7 days later, here they returned to Jerusalem. And we told them that they're going to be endowed with spiritual power once that the Holy Spirit has come upon them. So you look at the 3 days, he rose. 40 days, he walked the earth. Then the 7 days equal what? How many days?
50 days.
50 days. And that's what day we're in right now.
That's
in the
right.
feast of
Weeks.
Ingathering. The feast of what we're getting ready to read in Acts, the 2nd chapter, when the spiritual power came. So you can understand this is very, very important. He told us 3 times we're supposed to meet. And this day is very, very important. Beyond, I just think, your imagination. But read, start at Acts, the 2nd chapter, the 1st verse.
Acts chapter 2, verse 1.
Come.
And when the day of Pentecost was fully come,
This is the day of weeks, the day of Ingathering, also called the day of Pentecost. Read.
they were all accord, that's like it, they were all with one accord in one place.
Remember, he told them to be endowed with spiritual power once that the Holy Spirit has come upon them. They were all together in one place. Read.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven,
There came a sound from heaven. A sound from heaven. Read.
as of a rushing mighty wind.
So it's a rushing mighty wind. Read.
And it filled all the house where they were sitting.
So this wind filled all the house where they were sitting. Go ahead.
And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire. And they sat upon each of them.
It sat upon each of them. Read.
And they were all filled with the Holy
And
Spirit.
they were all filled with the Holy Spirit. Once that, we see in verse 2, suddenly there came a sound from heaven as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. Come? So now, this mighty wind, it said, and once this wind came and this fire came, then they were filled with the Holy Spirit. Now what's this wind? Go to 2nd Ezra 8, 22. But you can start at 21, but we're going to concentrate on 22 for now. We'll read this.
Second Esdras, chapter 8, verse 22.
Verse 21.
Oh, Salakia, verse 21.
This is the Most High. Read.
Whose throne is inestimable,
Right. You can't measure. I mean, his throne cannot be measured. Read.
whose glory may not be comprehended,
His glory of the Most High may not be comprehended. Read.
before whom the host of angels stand with
So
trembling.
the host of angels, the army of angels stand before the Most High trembling. But here we are with mortal bodies, ain't scared of the Most High doing things that's contrary to his laws and think that the Most High don't see you and you gonna get away with it. No, ain't nobody getting away with nothing. None of us getting away with anything. That's why we gotta come back to be perfect. The way we're gonna be perfect is to do what he say do. Follow his laws, statutes, commandments, his rules and regulations, man. That's what it's all about. That's why you gotta know them to do them. You can't say, oh, I didn't know. You can't be, you gotta stand before Mashiach HaMashiach and say, I didn't know. There's no excuse for us. Not none of us are here.
Right.
No excuse for us. Read.
Verse 22, whose service is conversing in
So
wind,
this is the service of the Most High that's conversing, a conversation, how?
in wind,
That's why it said, what do we see in Acts the 2nd chapter verse 2? And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty what? Wind. So his conversation is conversing in what?
in wind,
In wind, read,
and fire.
and fire. So we have a conversation with us, and this time in wind and fire. Get Jeremiah 23. And what is it? It's not my word like I said, fire. 29. Jeremiah 23 and 29. So in the spirit, you got to see what's going on here. Most High conversation is in wind, and it said in fire. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 29. Is not my word like as a fire?
So it's the word of the Most High. It's like what?
As a fire,
It's like a fire. Read.
saith the Most High.
Say the Most High. Read.
And like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces.
It's like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. Understand this. Go back to Acts the 2nd chapter.
Acts chapter 2,
So what's coming to